Welcome back to another episode. Today is my Sunday, even though it actually is Monday, but it's my Sunday. And I have so much. So much. I'm so full. And I have been put into a place of requirement because I'm that full that I have to start sharing and disseminating and teaching. And so I have several channels, and today I'm speaking from the Goddess Within channel. And what has been put in front of me is a book and a teacher that I've been working with for some years now. But this book is incredible, especially for those that are seeking deeper connection and insight, and you've been seeking within. And perhaps you're looking for the place that you belong, and you've been seeking that in places outside of yourself, and also questioning within yourself, where is that space, where is that place of belonging. If you know me personally, you know that I do talk about my dreams quite frequently. And I personally believe that it is the door. It is the door that leads us to the connection that we seek within. And so you should always pay attention to your dreams. Begin by writing them down. But what I'm going to do right now is read a little bit from the book that will be the next book that I recommend on this channel, and it'll be the book of the season for this fall season that we're in. And this book is entitled Belonging, Remembering Ourselves Home by Tokopa Turner. If you are on Instagram, look her up and follow her on Instagram. She gives some very insightful, meaningful shares on Instagram. But the book is amazing and will provide you with lots of avenues for growth. So I'm going to read just a little bit to give you a snippet and hopefully, pique your interest in being a part of this read for the season. To this world you belong. To this moment in this place where you already stand, something greater has ushered you. To the momentum of a long line of survivors you are bound. From their good deaths, succeeded by new lives, and to the incidents of love that seeded them, your story has been woven. With the wild jubilation of nature, you are in correspondence. By every season's conditions and by the invisible holy inclination, your life has been honed. And yet you may feel, as so many of us do, the ache of a life orphaned from belonging. There are many ways to be made an orphan: outright by the parent incapable of caring for you, or by the ones who neglected to understand your gifts. By the system which demands your loyalty but trades away your uniqueness, and by history which, through intolerance and war, has made you a refugee. But we are also made orphans by a culture that, in its epitomizing of certain values, rejects others, forcing us to split off from those unwanted parts of ourselves. And this is perhaps the most orphaning act of all, because it is an abandonment in which we are complicit. With this meager scratch to begin it, without so much as the acknowledgement of all that we've been lost from, we must fare away. We must begin with absence, a longing for what might never be assuaged, and follow it deep into the heart of exile to discover what, if anything, can be made out of nothing. To make a fondling of the orphan life, though it governs so much, belonging is rarely spoken about in the open. Like grief, death, and inadequacy, we are led to believe that to feel unbelonging is shameful and should be hidden from view. The great irony is that modern culture is suffering an epidemic of alienation. Yet so many of us feel alone in our unbelonging, as if everyone else has inside of the thing. As if everyone was inside of the thing that we alone are outside of. And keeping silent about our experience of estrangement is in large part what allows it to perpetuate. We are living in fragmented times with racism, sexism, xenophobia, and other systemic forms of othering on the rise all over the world. Never before have we experienced such seismic migrations. Excuse me. Seismic migrations of humans across our borders as we do today. Never before have we experienced such seismic migrations of humans across our borders as we do today. And the challenges of settlement and integration are vast and complex, even several generations down the line. Today, we find ourselves at a critical juncture, divided on the fault lines of politics, class, gender, and race. In its silent way, belonging is the central conversation of our times. In its silent way, belonging is the central conversation of our times. Certainly one of the most influential motivators of my own life, the longing to belong has shaped me in ways that I was largely unconscious of until it finally grabbed me by the hair, pulled me into its terrifying dimensions. This book is the travelogue of the initiation that took years and a passage through seemingly endless gates, each of which required the relinquishment of something precious to me. And so I write to you not as an expert in belonging, but as an orphan who needed to discover that there was more to lose before I could be found. There are many different kinds of belongings. The first kind that comes to mind is the feeling of belonging in a community or to a geography. But for many of us, longing to belong begins in our own family. Then there is the longing we feel to belong with an intimate other in the sanctuary of relationship, and the belonging we yearn to feel in a purpose or vocation. There is also spiritual longing to belong to a set of ways or traditions, the longing to know and participate in ancestral knowledge. And though we may not even notice how its severance influences us, the ache to belong in our own bodies. There are also subtler forms of belonging, like the one we must eventually create with our own story, and the gifts that have been forged from it. And if we take a broader view, there is a belonging with the earth itself, which is felt or not felt at the heart of us all. Finally, there is the great belonging, which may be the most nebulous and persistent of all, the longing to belong to that something greater which gives our life meaning.